Hello and welcome again to the Get Sustainable show produced by ESBN in partnership with Green Europe Today and Livestream Studio. Our guest today is Adam Targowski, Group Head of ESG at CTP, leader in developing sustainable warehouse and industrial spaces within Central and Eastern Europe. Adam, I know it's been a long time coming to make this happen, so thank you for taking the time to see us today.
Good morning, thank you.
Now, it seems that CTP focuses a lot of its attention online in promoting a vast array of social programs. So what made you take this direction and focus on this aspect of ESG?
It's cornerstoned by our business model. We have quite a unique business model. So first of all, we are a long-term investor. Mm-hmm. So we develop not to trade, but to hold the assets. So that makes us being very much interested in creating long-term relationships with communities. That's the first thing. Second thing is that we develop parks. So typically it's not standalone single building, but we develop multiple building parks. So that makes us also interested in growing within the same locations. And last but definitely not least, we're very much focused on growing together with our tenants, with our business partners. That makes us also definitely being interested in becoming a good neighbor.
Yeah.
And being positively recognized by local communities. So this business model makes us being interested and in long-term relationship with municipality, local communities. So there is no other way to do so than being proactively creating social program and creating opportunities where we conduct our business.
So I guess the goal is that when you undertake a new project and the local community hears that CTP is going to be managing the project, that it builds a positive impression on them rather than concerns that there may be
absolutely. On the contrary to some models that assume quick exit, as mentioned, mm-hmm. When we're entering the location, it's of our interest to grow there. It's of our interest to have people working at our tenants' premises. So it's of our interest to create attractive offer for people living nearby. We have some great examples already. One of these is concept of clubhouse. Mm-hmm. So that's the facility that is not dedicated for warehousing. It's the facility dedicated for people, where tenants, employees, or the neighbors can use different forms of convenience, such as medical services, such as canteen, shop, and that's very much appreciated, bearing in mind where a lot of logistic parks are located. Yes. So then there is no alternative. So us bringing this to neighborhood is very much appreciated.
Yeah, it's interesting that you take you make more than just industrial spaces. You create spaces that are that help impact the local community in a positive way. Now, one item we found really interesting in our research is that you make some bold pledges in terms of your carbon neutrality targets. What does this mean, and how do you aim to achieve these goals so soon?
Climate targets and carbon neutrality are definitely one of the most important challenges that real estate industry is facing at the moment. And for us, it is on the top of ESG agenda as well. So we aim to be climate neutral. We have started with corporate emissions that we have calculated, and to make sure we do not emit more than we remove. We have invested in the forests. We own and manage in sustainable way 2 forests, and we're not only managing what is there, but we're also having intense reforestation activities as these forests are degraded. So that made us removing more CO2 than we emit on the corporate level, and that has been already achieved. What we're doing, and what's the focus at the moment, is to institutionalize all scopes of carbon emissions. So at the moment we're developing inventory for all three scopes, scope 1, 2 and 3, and we're in the process of defining long-term, mid-term and short-term targets to achieve climate neutrality in line with Science-Based Target Initiative.
It's really encouraging to hear that you take ownership over protecting landscapes and forests that have a huge contribution to our climate. So it's encouraging to hear that you take action and protect these areas. Now, new warehouse and construction projects can sometimes be met with criticisms from local communities. We kind of mentioned that already. But after all, it's most often natural spaces that are being built up, and such projects can spark further development in the area. So what is your take on this argument? How do you manage communication with local communities during new builds?
Yeah, exactly. As mentioned, we're long-term partner for communities. So we're starting ahead of investment, and then we're providing much more than just a building. What we're providing is improvement in infrastructure. So we're investing in that. Our parks are surrounded with the nature that is supporting biodiversity. So again, we're giving back to the nature as well. The social aspect has been already covered, so no need to repeat that. So I would say on the top of such aspects as bringing workplaces to the neighborhood, we also make sure that both on the social side and the environmental, natural side, we're giving back, and we're adding the value.
Yeah, it's important to note that you're offsetting activities again. When zoning plans allow for building industrial parks and warehouse spaces, that is with the direction that the city will develop into. Whereas you can offset this by protecting areas which are not yet protected in zoning plans. One of the key arguments for developing new warehouse spaces in terms of positive contribution to the area is that in the future they could become key energy producers and hubs of biodiversity. Can you expand on this viewpoint, perhaps?
Absolutely. I would say there is no better place to locate photovoltaic solar farms. Mm-hmm. So many years ago, CTP took decision to develop buildings that have load-bearing capacity of the roof that allows to locate their photovoltaics. So we have, first of all, I think I can say millions square meters of the roof that is ready to accommodate photovoltaics. Secondly, all the buildings are connected to the grid, so there is no the challenge of getting connected is in a way limited. Mm-hmm. And third of all, significant consumption also happens there. So yes, we're able to not only support our climate target, our climate ambition, but also support, and that's super important, support our tenants' climate ambitions. So definitely energy production is from renewables, from photovoltaics is one of our priorities. And we're rolling out a significant program on that now. When it comes to biodiversity, I've already touched upon the topic. So what we're doing is we're improving the quality of nature around our buildings, bearing in mind the fact that typically the plots that are used for warehousing aren't of high natural value. We can do a lot to make it better, natural spaces. For example,
introducing meadows, flower meadows.
Yes.
Planting new trees, etc.
Absolutely.
Finally, what next for CTP in terms of further developing your ESG strategy and driving sustainable changes even further in its operations and markets you operate in?
Well, one of the priorities has been already mentioned, so that's significant rollout of photovoltaics, creating, I would say, significant additional part of the business. That's and supporting climate targets. That's one of the elements. And then I would say going further, there are huge opportunities in developing self-sufficient warehousing.
Yeah.
Not only self-sufficient when it comes to the building per se, but also cooperating with local municipalities and thinking about hydrogen storage. It can be used also for public transport in the city. So we're investigating opportunities in cooperating with the cities. We have some discussions already ongoing on how we can integrate public transport of the neighboring city with excessive production of electricity. So I would say that's definitely one of the most important aspects at the moment, and it will contribute climate neutrality.
Yeah, I think that automation offers a lot of opportunities, and the more energy you can generate on site, and the faster these technologies are being introduced, there is still a lot of scope for optimization in terms of your impact on the planet. So, Adam, thank you very much for speaking to us today. It was really interesting to hear your views on sustainable development, and I wish you all the best of luck in managing these new warehouse projects.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just a quick reminder to you all that we invite you to join our European Sustainable Business Network initiative, which will help further your progress on ESG matters in your business. Please check out ESBN Network for more information. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and keep up to date with our latest releases. Get in touch if you'd like to appear on one of our shows. Thank you very much for watching, and see you again next week. Goodbye.